Sadly, when we live in these dark end times, moments before the time of Jacob's trouble, Daniel's 70th week, the tribulation and the great tribulation, before that moment, you see darkness deluding a lot of people, confusing them, leading them to their own madness and confusion completely. And we see that in what they believe, specifically from fake media and from the enemy driving and building this hatred towards Israel, Christians, and anything representing God. And that's what we're seeing largely in the world today, even from so-called intelligent people. So the example I'm going to share with you in this video is an article that's just been released here in South Africa. And again, my leadership in this country are rabidly anti-Israel and Christian, and they are very pro-Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, Russia, China, and all those things. They're very much in that corner. But that does not represent all of us, because a lot of us are pro-Israel, pro-God, pro-Christian, pro-sharing the gospel. But now this is an example of an article written by a South African supposed learned doctor that just got released. And I want to highlight some of the things that she spouts. And I'm going to say spout because it's absolute rubbish coming out of her mouth. Israel-Iran conflict. Peace is a fantasy when faced with a war machine addicted to dominance. Guess who she's talking about? Israel has gone completely rogue. Not Iran. Iran that's been rogue all these years. The whole world knows this. No, Israel has gone completely rogue, making it the greatest threat to world peace. Peace and stability, peace and security. What is the greatest threat? Israel is the greatest threat. We need to neutralize Israel, and then we will have peace and security. Do you see how this plays into end times very beautifully? Having all but obliterated Gaza, it is now turning its aggression towards the Islamic Republic of Iran, and Iran is defiantly responding with its Iron Dome penetrating Fatah-1 hypersonic missiles. Israel, the United States' key proxy in the region, has unleashed devastation on a shocking scale. Tens of thousands of Palestinians have been massacred with impunity. It began with Hamas, the governing party of Gaza. So they're not terrorists, they're not monsters, they're just the governing party of Gaza. A key component of the Palestinian liberation movement. They launched an attack in response to Israel's decades of repression. So this South African is justifying October 7, putting babies in ovens, raping women, murdering old people as they're hid in their places, civilians, massacring them, terrorists that were proven to be on drugs while they were performing these evil, heinous acts. No. That was just a response to Israel's decades of repression. Israel's the only place in the Middle East where they have the freedoms they have. This is such evil rubbish perpetuated time and time again by people like this as truth. What followed October 7 was not proportional defense. Yes, because Israel didn't go put their babies in ovens and rape their women and murder their old people indiscriminately. It was genocide, she says. She doesn't understand what genocide is. Go back to World War II, Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, and the concentration camps, and start thinking genocide. Now listen to this. Hezbollah, an unwavering defender of Palestine, not a terrorist organization or anything. No, they're awesome. Saw key members of its leadership wiped out and much of southern Lebanon reduced to rubble under Israeli bombs. Because they were shooting at Israeli civilians non-stop and attacking without provocation and getting involved with Israel, and then Israel responded, and then now this is what's being pushed. And then there is Yemen. when Ansar Allah declared solidarity with the Palestinians, their resistance was met with significant military force. No, we couldn't care less if they said they were with the Palestinians. When they started shooting at international shipping, they brought attention to themselves. The US unashamedly used its might to pummel one of the poorest nations in the world, because we're supposed to do nothing when they're shooting at us. At the heart of Western aggression lies Iran, a country that has shown enormous restraint in the face of years of provocation, assassination, and sabotage. The terrorist nation that's an octopus in the Middle East, that even the other Arab nations fear its ability to spread terror and terrorism everywhere and have its proxies everywhere doing its bidding. That one. Iran's pursuit, its military and political leaders have been murdered, not on battlefields, but in targeted killings. Its scientists, brilliant minds working to advance nuclear energy for peaceful medical and industrial purposes, have been gunned down simply for daring to dream of self-sufficiency. Iran's pursuit of nuclear technology is not a prelude to war, it is an assertion of dignity. Its nuclear program powers homes, fuels hospitals, and propels research in oncology and aerospace. Yet that progress is a threat to the West, not because of military potential, but because it symbolizes independence, ingenuity, and resilience. Washington cannot tolerate a West Asian power that surpasses it in science or dares to challenge its monopoly or influence. I don't see Washington attacking Japan. The moment is a wake-up call for the Muslim world, and indeed all oppressed countries, and for the anti-imperialist peoples of the world. As Ayatollah Khamenei warned, the Zionist regime won't bring security for any government. Those states collaborating with Israel in hopes of American favor are deluding themselves. The West respects no ally. It respects only obedience. Dr. Reneva Fourie, a political analyst specializing in governance, development, and security. An absolute crazy, uninformed person spouting lies and totally disillusioned with the truth because she doesn't like the truth. And that is the kind of news that the world wants to push. That is what the world wants you to believe. And that is so twisted, sick, and evil, making these disgusting, evil terrorist leaders to be heroes, and all they're doing to be wonderful, and vilifying Israel, hands down. That is another glaring sign of how late the hour is that we're living in, here on the edge of eternity. I stand with Israel. I pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Psalm 122 verse 6 to 8. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love you. Peace be within your walls, prosperity within your palaces. For the sake of my brethren and companions, I will now say, peace be within you.